Hey guys, it's Tony Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Corsair Vengeance K90. Now, a lot of you have been asking me to look at more kind of peripherals and stuff, and with the Corsair releasing all these new ranges of stuff that they're going to be doing, I thought it would be a perfect excuse for us to start having a look at them together. Now, I will say that if you go to the click link underneath, the main review, the written review, and all the testing has been done by Brian. As I'm sure many of you are aware from the other videos, gaming with keyboards and stuff like that isn't necessarily my strong point. So I've relied on Brian to do the main review for this, and I'm just doing like a subsidiary kind of video for him to look at the aesthetics and also to kind of pass my kind of judgment over the top of it as well, but the most part of it's been done by Brian, just to make things perfectly clear. If we have a look at the box, got a little window over on this side, and obviously the massive Vengeance logo on the front. And to be perfectly honest with you, this was stood in a shop. The packaging's great because it's certainly eye-catching, and there's a lot of info around the outside about customizable G keys, the fact that it's got the cherry red mechanical key switches. We go round to the back. Basically, this down this side, basically it says cherry red mechanical key switches, 18 dedicated customizable G keys, and underneath it says 18 use programmer or record on the fly macro keys for easy single keystroke access to up to 54 of your favourite presets and combos. Full key matrix and anti-ghosting, 20 key rollover with USB, professional grade brushed aluminium chassis with laser etched backlit keys. That sounds really nice already. Fully customizable profiles with the Vengeance gaming software. But enough of the me chatting away about it. What I'm going to do is open the box. And it's nice that the stickers come off and it's not ripped half the box apart, which doesn't happen very often, but anyway. Let's get this puppy out of the box. Now, it's a fairly big keyboard, guys. And by fairly big, I mean it's massive. It's very wide. Good way to kind of judge it, really, as I'm disposing of the packaging, which is more than likely going to fall down at some point in the video, is the fact that you've got like the full-size keyboard there, you've got the number pad, and you've also got the G keys on the left-hand side, which is why it makes it feel that much wider. Now, if I take the keyboard itself out, it's actually a double-layer package, I've just noticed. If you have a look, there's two separate layers. So if I take the keyboard out, now, oh my god, that cable is just massive. This, honestly, guys, look at how thick that cable is, and it's all braided, and there's actually two USB keys on it, connectors I should say. So I'm assuming that you've got one for the keyboard and then one for a full speed pass through here, because there's a USB key here. But this braided cable is so thick and it's soft as well. It's actually really nice. I know I get all anal about the details sometimes, but I'm just trying to bring it up so that you can get a clear look at that cable. It's lush. Anyway, if we move this to the side, what else have we got in the bottom of the box? Oh, it's the hand rest, or the wrist rest, I should say. So what I'm going to do is move the packaging out of the way. I'll give you a look at this on the table. I think this wrist rest goes over the front. Again, I'm doing this because one hand. Oh, it's really nice. I'm not so sure I would use that wrist rest myself, but I do like it. I do like it a lot. Anyway, this silver part, I'm going to actually zoom you in a bit. This silver part is brushed aluminium. I always get that wrong. So you've got like an entire brush layer over the top. Now, these cherry red mechanical keys, I'm sure there are a lot of gamers out there that know exactly what these are and stuff. I've heard about them on the Cooler Master stuff before. but I've never actually really had a proper chance to use them. And I've got to admit, I'm just turning it towards myself here. They do feel really nice. It's a really slick mechanical key. It's quite a loud typer. Up in this top right hand corner, it looks like that's a volume key and it's just a roller. I really like the idea of that, to be perfectly honest with you. Mute key there, you've got light and buttons, Windows buttons up the top here. You've got some multimedia keys as well. You've got stop, backwards, forward, play and pause. Obviously your normal kind of number key layout. Now we've got some buttons up the top here, and I'm pretty sure that MR's got to be for record, but as I've said, literally looking at you with this on the fly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the camera off so we can give you a proper look round. Proper old school TTL video where we get the old camera right down low so that you can have a look. But it all does look very much the part. The laser etched backlit keys do look lovely. Obviously we've not seen them lit up yet. There we go, it's focused. But we will do. You can see the brush quite nicely there as well. It's all like that. It does look quite nice and does catch the light. Now you can see it without the wrist rest, but basically it all has to clip on. I'd have to put it back on a tripod and try and get this done, just so that I can give you a quick look of it with the wrist rest on. Pretty sure it just slides over like, there we go. It snaps into place. You can screw it in the side, so it does. Just trying to get it straight on the camera, so it does lock into place. But obviously I've just pushed this over, so it gives you a quick look. And I'm just going to kind of, I've got to admit, it does give you a nice guide for your hands and kind of bring you up all level. But I'm trying to do this so I'm actually, you know, kind of showing you on camera. Has it got any of those little? Aha! It has. It's got the height adjusters at the back. Now that's better. That actually feels quite comfortable to me. I think I'm going to go and spend a little bit of time writing on this so I can give you a better idea on my point of view. But what I'm going to do now is that there is some software that you have to download for it as well, so that you can do the macros and stuff. And you've got different lighting levels and stuff on it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, get this attached to a rig, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at the lighting and stuff in the dark, and give it a good once over. Okay then guys and girlies, on to the software for the K90. One thing I am kind of like knelt down trying to use this, but basically we've got the MR button here, which is the memory record, and then we've got M1, M2 and M3, and these are the 3 different memory banks. Now on the side of the keyboard, as you can see here, you've got all these G buttons. So you've got 18 G buttons. Now that's 18 G buttons per one of these memory banks. So you've got 3 lots of 18 that you can basically have your macro keys set up for. So essentially you could have the macro key and you can have your 3 favourite games and have 18 macro keys for each one. One thing I will say is, for me personally, well, I'm not really much of a gamer, these would be quite handy because you can set them to do anything that you want, including like enters for in programs and stuff like that. So I could set these for an automated YouTube response if I wanted to. I could set the M1, and basically what you do is press the MR button, and you choose your, you select the M1, sorry, press MR, select the key that you want to do, select your macro, which we'll just call Tiny Tom Logan. So we've got Tiny Tom Logan, and then all you do is you hit your MR button again, and that's it. And that's it, recorded and saved. So it's really not that difficult at all. You don't even have to use the software. You can do it manually on the keyboard if you want. Now I've cleared that off again. There's lots of in-depth advanced options, so you can set basic commands, advanced commands, and your delay options and all kinds of stuff like that. For those of you hardcore gamers out there, you'll really like this, and you've got profiles and stuff that you can set and save as well. You've even got manual control with the software over the keyboard lighting. Now the keyboard lighting, I've got to show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all the lights off in the room, and we'll have a look at the lighting itself, because aesthetically this keyboard is gorgeous. So I'm going to break the keyboard off quickly now. I'm going to break the camera off quickly now and set up so we can show you this at night. Right then peeps, all the buttons that you can see lit up at this present moment in time are here. The MR button, there the M1 button, but if I've hit M2 you can see me changing them up to M3, so we can move them back. And then up in this top left hand corner we've got the number lock on and the caps lock, so I'll turn the caps lock off as well so you can see me doing that. Right, but there is a button up here, you can't actually see me pressing it at the moment, it's so dark, but if I press it once, that is the keyboard lit up 33%. Hit it again, that is 66%. Hit it again and that's on its full brightness. Now I am fully aware that my camera is probably not going to show this up perfectly, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to readjust the camera. Now I've shown you from above, just so that you can see that a little bit better. Now the keys, if I zoom you in, I'm hoping the camera will focus. Oh yeah, it does. Look at that. Honestly guys, this looks amazing, because the letters are like they said, laser etched, and you've got the backlight for the keys, but it also backlights onto the brushed aluminium of the board as well. If I scroll over there, honestly this thing looks amazing. I'm flabbergasted with this, how much I like it. Really is nice. What I'm just going to do though is just turn the lights on quickly, so we've got a bit of background light. There we go, so that you can actually see it with some light as well, so that you can see it. There we go. If I zoom out a little bit, there we go. Really does look the part, really does. One thing I will say is that when reading up about this, I said about the long stroke for the keys, and the fact that it seemed like it was a long way down to press the buttons, and instinctively you feel like you have to press the buttons right the way down, but it's actually only a 2mm activation, so you can near enough just brush over the top of the keys and it works. I don't know really whether that's something for you gamers, how much you're going to like that, but if I just readjust the camera again, what I'm going to do is zoom you in on probably what I think, other than the lights, is my favourite part of this keyboard. There you go, and that's this. That is your volume control button. It's just a simple scroll wheel, and honestly that's aluminium as well to match the base, and it is so slick to use, it's unreal. None of this kind of smacking buttons, do you know what I mean, to go up and down on your key. I mean, I normally have my windows turned right up anyway, but for those of you that are going to use this to turn your volume up and down on your rig, you are going to love it. This will become something that you can't live without, or at least it would be something that I couldn't live without. So if I just zoom out again briefly, remove the camera. I know I'm moving the camera a lot, but I'm just trying to get it so that you can see. There we go. I know the camera's going to go skits and me keep turning the lights on and off, but I think it's worth it, because it's been a long time since a keyboard aesthetically for me has been quite so pleasing. But what I'm going to do now is we're going to break on, give you a conclusion, and yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, let's get the camera redone and moved again, and do the conclusion. Okay then guys, so on to the conclusion, and I'll tell you the award and then we'll talk about everything else afterwards. And we're going to give it a gold award. Now this is Brian's choice of the gold award, because obviously the main written review, if you click the link underneath, was done by Brian on the site. And that's because he lives and breathes gaming. He can pick up small, a lot smaller details with the way things work and don't necessarily work than I can, because I don't spend enough time just playing, like keyboard games. The only time I'm really doing it is when I'm testing stuff. I don't really do it for fun like he does. He'll sit up to 5 o'clock in the morning playing stuff just because he wants to, like I would think all of you guys do as well. So why do we like the keyboard? Well, and we'll start off with what I like about it, to be perfectly honest with you. If you want to see Brian's opinions, you can go and see the full review. Like I said, click the link underneath. For me, I love the aesthetics of it. It's lovely. That brushed aluminium just, screams quality to me. The volume button, that little scroller, it's so simple, but it just rolls really nice. It's actually got a textured machine surface. It's lovely. Just honestly, it's just a really small thing, but I really, really like it. The keys are obviously laser etched, so they're very clean, but you've got the letters are all lit up, but you've also got the backlight as well, so it lights up a bit of the keyboard. It's very, do you know what I mean? Just to look at it, it's quite aesthetically pleasing. The wrist rest, stroke palm rest, whatever you want to call it, the wrist rest, I've got to admit, when I first got it out of the box, I didn't like it, but I actually prefer using it now, because I ended up, I've recorded the beginning and the end of this video at different times, and I've used it on my main rig for about a week now. Now, when using it, initially, where you've got this extra bit on the left, I kept putting my hand right to the outside to do like caps lock and shift and stuff like that, and that's just because you get used to the way things are laid out. So you give yourself a couple of days and you do find yourself adapting fairly quickly. It's all about muscle memory. And I did find after 2 or 3 days, when I eventually swapped it back around and put my old one back on, I was putting my hand back off the keyboard again. It's quite weird. But anyway, you do adapt. It is the keys, as I said, you do, when you first start using it, think that you've got to hit them all the way to the end of the stroke every time. If you can just brush them. It's just a 2mm actuation on it, and it really is. And so you don't have to pang them all the way down. So one of those kind of like late night gaming strikes where you think that you may have missed the key, you're probably going to hit it anyway. The lights at night are lovely. You can just kind of like sit there and work away. Just no lights on in the room. You don't even really need the lights from your monitors shining on or anything. Do you know what I mean? You look down and everything's so clear. It's brilliant. But the good thing is that if you're watching a film or something, you may not want your keyboard lit up or something like that. It's just so simple just to be able to turn it off again. But I've got to admit, I normally leave them on max because they look lovely. The fact that you've got these 3 memory buttons for the macro, so you can have 3 sets of 18 for completely different things. So if, like me, you might want one for just normal, like a paragraph that gets banged out, for like a reply or something, like an automated reply, or you can have like your 3 different games that you want different macros for each thing, or even, not being funny, say for argument's sake you only use 6 macros for each game. Rather than having to remember to put your hand down, you could just quite literally have the first 6 keys programmed, but on the 3 different memories. And it is the software is pretty intuitive once you get used to, hitting the memory, setting the G key that you want to use, hitting the memory button, doing your macro, and then hitting the memory button again. It's dead simple, really is dead simple. So I think, considering this is the top end of the first lot of keyboards that Corsair have brought to the market, yeah, the price, a lot of people are going to think £110 is going to make their eyes water, but like I said, it's built like a tank. The aesthetics on it are lovely. It honestly does look like it would last you for a lifetime. Even down just to the massively thick braided cable, looks like it's been ripped straight out of a tank or something, because it's just so burly, it's unreal. I think Corsair have done an amazing job, and that's why, well, Brian's given it a gold award, but to be perfectly honest with you, I think I would have given it a gold award as well. But we will be covering at a later date the M90, which is the mouse, and we've also got the K60 and the M60, so the lower down keyboard and mouse as well. And we will get around to the headsets as well. So it's just the first kind of batch of this kind of stuff that we're going to be doing. It's not just going to be the Corsair stuff, but obviously, do you know what I mean? These got released, and I thought, right, it's time to start doing these things because everyone in YouTube land has been asking for it. So please don't forget to comment underneath. Let me know your thoughts on not only the video, but your thoughts on the keyboard, more importantly. And also, if this is the first video of mine that you've found, if you like the videos, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot of mental stuff normally going on this channel. And there's a very dedicated bunch of followers as well that if you do ever have any questions, I'm sure they'll be able to help you. Also underneath, it's worth noting that the Tiny Tom Logan Facebook page is linked, and that again, we get up to some crazy stuff on there with crazy Photoshop competitions, and you also get to hear about reviews and stuff before they actually go live, and I normally sneak results up and so, you know, certain things like that, and it's a really close-knit community. But I'm going massively off topic, so I'm going to say congratulations Corsair with your Vengeance K90, which has just won the OC3D Gold Award, and we look forward to doing more stuff. But for now, at least, this is Tiny Tom Logan with another video for you. Out. That cable is, and it's all braided, and there's actually two USB keys on it, connectors I should say. So I'm assuming that you've got one for the keyboard and then one for a full speed pass through here, because there's a USB key here. But this braided cable is so thick and it's soft as well. It's actually really nice. I know I get all anal about the details sometimes, but I'm just trying to bring it up so that you can get a clear look at that cable. It's lush. Anyway, if we move this to the side, what else have we got in the bottom of the box? Oh, it's the hand rest, or the wrist rest I should say. So what I'm going to do is move the packaging out of the way. Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Corsair Vengeance K90. Now a lot of you have been asking me to look at more kind of peripherals and stuff, and with the Corsair releasing all these new ranges of stuff that they're going to be doing, I thought it would be a perfect excuse for us to start having a look at them together. Now I will say that if you go to the click link underneath, the main review, the written review, and all the testing has been done by Brian. As I'm sure many of you are aware from the other videos, gaming with keyboards and stuff like that isn't necessarily my strong point. So I've relied on... That's a fairly big keyboard, guys. And by fairly big, I mean it's massive. It's very wide. Good way to kind of judge it, really, as I'm disposing of the packaging, which is more than likely going to fall down at some point in the video, is the fact that you've got like the full-size keyboard there, you've got the number pad, and you've also got the G keys on the left-hand side, which is why it makes it feel that much wider. Now, if I take the keyboard itself out, it's actually a double-layer package, I've just noticed. If you have a look, there's two separate layers. So if I take the keyboard out, now, oh my god, that cable is just massive. This, honestly, guys, look at how thick It says 18 use programmer or record on the fly macro keys for easy single keystroke access to up to 54 of your favourite presets and combos. Full key matrix and anti-ghosting, 20 key rollover with USB, professional grade brushed aluminium chassis with laser etched backlit keys. That sounds really nice already. Fully customizable profiles with the Vengeance gaming software. But enough of the me chatting away about it. What I'm going to do is open the box, and it's nice that the stickers come off and it's not ripped half the box apart, which doesn't happen very often. But anyway, let's get this puppy out of the box. On Brian to do the main review for this, and I'm just doing like a subsidiary kind of video for him to look at the aesthetics and also to kind of pass my kind of judgment over the top of it as well. But the most part of it's been done by Brian, just to make things perfectly clear. If we have a look at the box, got a little window over on this side, and obviously the massive Vengeance logo on the front. And to be perfectly honest with you, this was stood in a shop. The packaging's great because it's certainly eye-catching. And there's a lot of info around the outside about customizable G keys, the fact that it's got the cherry red mechanical key switches. We go round to the back. Basically, this down this side, basically it says cherry red mechanical key switches, 18 dedicated customizable G keys, and underneath